All right, guys, I am live on a little island here off of the island of Bali. There's a smaller island called Gili Air. I'm on this tiny little island, so hopefully the internet connection is working. Shocking NVIDIA analysis. NVIDIA 2024 astrology is similar to Bitcoin. All right, so we're going to be talking about not just the NVIDIA chart today, the stock. We're going to be going into the NVIDIA Astrology. I'm one of the few people in the world that I believe is doing this. So good morning and good evening, crypto astronauts, depending on where you're tuning in from, and welcome back to the Bitcoin and crypto paradise. But today we're talking about NVIDIA. So we're doing the NVIDIA paradise today. If you're new here, I do technical analysis and run an astrology birth chart for NVIDIA released on the NASDAQ and see if the current astrology patterns correlate with the technical analysis. So I give you an edge on the markets by bringing in this new analysis with astrology. Please subscribe as I put out these high value videos for free. So click that subscribe button, please. Thank you very much. None of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and educational purposes only. So let's dive into the NVIDIA chart first, and then we'll take a look at the astrology. Sounds good? Okay, so here is the chart. So far, we dumped down here a bit, as I'm sure you know if you've been looking at this chart. We dumped about 22%. Not too bad. That's a healthy correction. The good news is we have gone down here, and we've headed back past this 50% level. So typically when we are above this level, that is bullish. It shows more strength. Whereas if we headed down here, that shows a lot more weakness in the chart, and we could be heading down further. So far, so good. We're looking like NVIDIA is in a strong position. And if we look at the weekly, same thing. We zoom out, we see how far we have pumped up here. Pretty wild. Back here historically, this was a 68% correction when we headed down here. So could we see another one of those? Oh, of course we could. But we'll take a closer look at the astrology to see if there's anything like that in store in the upcoming months this year. Let's look at the monthly chart. So I drew a little trend line from down here all the way up to here. And we're holding that trend line. We're staying above it, so very bullish. Still very bullish setup for NVIDIA. And I also want to look at the 2-month chart, which is interesting. One interesting thing I noticed on the 2-month chart is back in this time here, November 2021. Everyone remembers that time. Look at this wick here, because you know we got all these green bars heading up, and then we got this final green bar. What is significant about this green bar here? Well, we went up to about 295 around there, and then we wicked up all the way to the peak here, about 344, but then we fell all the way back down to 295 around there, and then that was it. So when we saw this massive wick, that shows massive selling pressure from smart money, from whales arguably. You know, they somehow they knew that this was a peak, and they sold it. That bar went all the way down. And then after that, what do we see? Red bar, red bar, red bar. For the next, that's 6 months. And then we got, whoopsies. We obviously recovered. We started heading back up. And then we got this massive green candle here back in January, February. Look at that candle. I mean, have we ever gotten a candle like that before? Doesn't look like it. Massive candle to start off 2024. But then what's interesting here is that we did get another green candle, but look at this. Look at this massive wick here. How much percentage is this wick? That wick by itself is about 11% wick there. We headed all the way to the peak here. We got this massive wick down. It's a bit of a red flag there because smart money could be selling there. And actually, I could bring up some data that shows that smart money was selling back then and potentially is still selling. So this is a bit concerning. This could show in the next 3 to 6 months, let's say, that we could have further downside. Because look at this smart money selling here. We are seeing a further pump here, but the question is, in May and June, is this going to last? Because let's see, this bar ends in July, actually. So we have May, June to go. It's potential that this green bar could turn into a red bar. Similarly to what we saw back in January 2022, where we saw this wick up, went down, and then the next bar was red because smart money was selling. So it's a bit of a red flag there. All right, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's take a look at the macro markets. Actually, yeah, let's take a look at the 2-month for the S&P 500. Wow. Well, we got a red bar, and we got that wick as well. We got a wick up. So, bit of a red flag there, potentially, as well, as smart money could potentially be selling. Let's see the last time we saw that. Oh, I guess we didn't see that in 2008. We haven't seen something like that for a while. I don't know if we have time to go all the way back in the history books, but that is a little bit concerning. All right, because smart money could be selling. And so it'll be really interesting to see this next 2-month bar, where we're going to close in July. Are we going to be heading down a bit further? And does this spell 3 to 6 months of us going down a bit more? Let's look at the Dow Jones, same thing. We got this massive bar, green bar, red bar. We go up, we get that wick, potentially smart money's possibly selling. All right, let's look at the NASDAQ. Same thing, but that's not as bad because it wicked down, wicked up. The bottom wick is larger than the top wick, so that's not as bad. All right, let's go back. Let's look at the monthly. Getting a correction, obviously. Let's look at the weekly. And, obviously we're holding up above the 50% level there. So that's short term, pretty bullish. We definitely could be heading up more because in the short term. But like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens in June, heading into July for the longer term macro picture. So yeah, sitting pretty right now above that 50% level from this dump here, from the peak to the swing bottom. So sitting pretty right now. Even the Russell 2000, we're sitting above the 50%. That's looking pretty good. The NASDAQ, sitting pretty as well. And I want to take a quick look at DXY. Let's look at the daily. DXY is right on that 50% level from the peak to the swing bottom here. Right on the 50%. So I'm keeping a close eye on this. It's just hanging out there. If we go even down to the hourly, it's barely holding above this 50% level. So that'll be very important to keep our eyes on. Which way is the DXY going to go? Because if it heads back up, that could be bearish for NVIDIA, potentially, the NASDAQ, and crypto. Whereas if we head back down, a weak dollar could push up NVIDIA, crypto, and technology stocks. So I'm keeping my eye on that, especially related to crypto. Now, let's look at the NVIDIA Astrology. All right, so this might go over the heads of some people watching this if you're not familiar with astrology. But for those who are into astrology, that's what this channel is all about. We're going to take a look at the NVIDIA Astrology. Check this out. Now, I want to go back into the history books really quick and look at January. This is my fancy astrology software, by the way. And January 2021 for the next 4 years. And I noticed some interesting things. Now, we just had a tech issue. It just kind of crapped out. But I'm going to restart it. Come on, technology. The interesting thing that I saw, I could just explain it a little bit here before I show you all the details, is, the price action since 2021 was quite, obviously very bullish in 2021, as was crypto and technology stocks, Tesla, NVIDIA. And I did see very, very bullish astrology, and I'll show you. So here's 2021, if you can see up here. Quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Now, these are the astrology transits on the left. Typically, when we see really, really positive major astrology transits that are making a positive aspect with the NVIDIA birth chart, starting January 22nd, 1999, when NVIDIA was released on the NASDAQ. In 2021, we saw this major, major positive transits here with Pluto sextile the NVIDIA Jupiter. Very, very, very positive. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It expands whatever it touches. Pluto is the planet of wealth, and it's making a positive sextile with Jupiter. Very positive, and it's hitting the NVIDIA chart in February 2021, July 2021, and December. And after that, that was it. And the markets did tank after that. But it's very, very interesting that we can see that's right here in the astrology, just showing the proof is in the pudding if you really look at this. We also get another very, very, very positive transit here. Saturn sextiling the NVIDIA Pluto, the planet of wealth, get a positive transit in March 2021, August 2021, December 2021. And now the third one, we did start to see a drop off. So typically, a lot of the times when we see a third one and that's it, then the markets tend to drop off after there's that third and final positive transit. That's just typically what I see historically. Now, this is really interesting. We see this Pluto squaring the NVIDIA Saturn, which is very negative. Squares typically represent challenges, and we typically see a price drop in the charts. And this is a major transit. So we saw this hit 3 times direct hits in 2022. What do we see in 2022? The markets drop off. Okay, so and NVIDIA tanked during 2022. Let's take a look. Go to the weekly. I mean, everything fell off 2022. Everyone remembers that. If we zoom out. Yeah, so here's 2022 and this time where, NVIDIA was just going down, 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 down. So that major transit was set negative price action. Incredible. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I know skeptics, that is okay. I was very skeptical about crypto and astrology at first as well. It's all good. Okay. Now we're going to move further. And any other major, I'm just looking for major astrology transits. We did get this a little bit negative in 2021, but typically the positive, if there's more positive transits, those outweigh the negative ones. But this did bring more negative energy in November 2021, and then again in March 2022. So it just brought more of that negative energy in 2022, marking the peak and when the markets fell off there. And let's see if there's anything else. A bit more negative transits. Yeah, more negative transits in 2022 again. And again in 2023, but that was the third time, so it wasn't as intense. And we also did get this a bit more positive transit with Neptune and Jupiter in 2023, so that was outweighing the negative. That's fairly positive. And then 2024. Now this is really interesting. I'm going to zoom in more to 2024. And we're going to take a look at what's in store this year. All right, so we look at the major astrology transits. And if you guys are interested in learning more about this, I do have a crypto astro mastermind where we look at crypto. We can look at NVIDIA. We can look at altcoins, the altcoin astrology, and I can teach you in much more detail how I do this, and I can answer your questions. So you can go and click the links on my YouTube channel page. All right. And we have Pluto conjunct the NVIDIA Neptune. That's bit of a mixed bag with that energy. Happening on March 31st, and again, June 4th. So that's a bit negative. That's negative, it looks like. So we're getting a little bit negative heading into June. But we're already in that energy. So we've already gotten a dump. Let's look more into the summer here. We do get this positive transit May 25th. Uranus, the planet of technology, trining NVIDIA Mercury, the planet of trading. Typically, that can bring positive price action. That's a positive transit May 25th. So we could see a rebound in the short term here. We're getting another positive with Jupiter trining the NVIDIA Neptune on June 2nd. And another positive, Jupiter trining the NVIDIA Sun. Very nice, on June 3rd. So we could see a nice rebound here, nice recovery. Maybe even an all-time high here. It looks like we sure could. Jupiter sextile the NVIDIA Moon on June 9th. Wow, and Uranus, the planet of technology, sextiling the NVIDIA Jupiter, the planet of expansion that typically expands markets. And we're getting that on June 27th. So heading into the summer, we could be getting a nice pump even into June. But then in July, we get a negative here, Jupiter opposite Pluto, the planet of wealth. When it's opposite, that's typically negative, creating tension, and that's July 8th this summer. That's a bit negative, so we could see markets potentially falling off. However, we get this positive on Jupiter trining NVIDIA Uranus July 19th. So very interesting that NVIDIA is looking quite strong in the summer, besides that negative one we had here, Jupiter opposite Pluto. Very interesting. But when we go back here, we also had this negative. Pluto conjunct the NVIDIA Neptune, and that's happening June 4th. So similar to Bitcoin, it's getting a negative transit in June. It's happening June 4th, but it's also getting a lot of positive astrology on top of that. You know, we got this negative transit right when NVIDIA dumped, approximately. It entered orb on April 13th and exact hit on May 1st. And we got the recent dump. Just a fun fact there. But it's looking like, unlike Bitcoin, it's looking like the positive astrology for NVIDIA could outweigh the negative in the summer months. So very interesting there. It's looking quite bullish in the summer overall. So what do you guys think? Do you think NVIDIA is going to continue to pump up in the summer, or is it going to be sell in May and go away? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments right now. Let me check, see if there's any commenters. We do have a commenter. What's up? Hey, Jack, thank you for the videos. Since astrology is not the greatest for BTC and alts from June to August, how is it for the rest of the year, October to December? Oh, you're looking for the goods. You're looking for the goods right now. Well, I'm going into a lot more detail of that. Actually, in my next Crypto Astro Mastermind call happening this month very soon. So we are going to go into much more detail on astrology over the summer months. It's very interesting that NVIDIA is looking more positive than Bitcoin. But we're going to be going much more detail on the Bitcoin astrology over the summer and through the end of the year. All right, so that is for the Crypto Astro Mastermind. The links are on my YouTube channel. And I'm giving an incredible deal for lifetime access. All right, guys. And if you want, you can pay in crypto and get a discount. Just email me. You can get a, let's just say a 15% discount. If you email me, you pay in crypto. Guys, it's going to be totally worth it. You literally get lifetime access for a monthly group call with me. I'll be giving all of the goods. I'll be answering your questions. I'll be giving a Bitcoin astrology update for the rest of the year, for God's sake. And I'm going to be supporting you every single month. You're going to get lifetime access for the entire bull run. All right. I don't know how much more value but I can add. And it's very affordable as well. You can just take like a tiny bit of profits and easily jump into the program. All right. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, one interesting thing I wanted to show you guys. I'm giving you guys some amazing information here. This is very interesting data that I found. The history, for those who are into astrology, if you're not into astrology, then you probably just want to leave the video at this point. But so Mars right now is in Aries, its home sign. And I looked at literally the data for every time Mars historically has been in Aries, how did the S&P 500 do? And this is the average daily return. The average daily return on the S&P 500 has been the best historically when Mars is in Aries. So Mars is in Aries for the next month. So the average daily return looks very, 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 very good when Mars is in Aries for the next month. And it's performed better when Mars is in Aries than when Mars is in any other sign. All right. So I'm not saying that guarantees that we're going to go up in 100% accuracy, but this is showing a very, very good data that we certainly could, and we cannot count that possibility out, that we could continue to head upwards in the next month. We'll see. It's already looking bullish as we are having this bullish setup. We are above the 50%. And could we even see a bounce off the 50% before we head up? That would be very bullish. But, I mean, when just looking at the chart, we also can't count out that, well, it's not looking like that's going to happen, but it's possible. Okay, let me know what questions you guys have in the... But that's about it. I think I'm going to wrap things up for this video. Let me know how the internet connection was. Once again, I'm on this little island here off the coast of Bali, actually next to the island of Lombok, which is an island next to Bali. And I'm on another little island. It's much, much, much smaller. I can literally run around the island in an hour. It's super, super great. It's amazing. The water's incredible. It's the Gili Islands. It's super beautiful here. I'm enjoying my time. But I wanted to pop on and give you guys this extra value here for free. So definitely subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I will see you on the next video. Peace.